Hey guys, Doug Detroit here. Um, got a little warm weather. It's above 40, so I can be out here tinkering. And I was just going to show this XJS. Um, oh, I'm going to say in about '07, my neighbor brought this car over because the motor was seized. And we went and got another one, engine, and replaced the engine and replaced fuel lines and redid some of the wiring harness and yada, yada, yada. And he drove it for, 6 months maybe? And then the transmission lines blew up, and he didn't realize it, and he drove it till the pump went dry, and he killed the transmission. So we had a transmission rebuilt, put it in. He drove it for another 6 months, and the power steering rack went, and we put a power steering rack in it. And then he drove it for a year or two, but then his family got bigger and he had to work on his house. And this car sat in the woods, and he didn't want to see it rot away, so he called me up and said, "Come get it, it's yours." So here I have the Jaguar XJS, and I'm not sure if I've showed this whole thing or not. But at the moment, when you put a battery in it and nothing happens. Nothing. It's completely dead. No electricity anywhere. But that just means some mouse ate something important. So what I started to do was clean out the interior, because the interior looked like a swamp, to see how the floors were. And I've seen worse, you know. I got to take the seats out. See, there's even mice nests in the console. But the dash isn't too bad, except for the parts that are missing. You know, outside of the body's decent. It's dirty. So it still has a good engine, a good transmission, a good suspension. Because this was built by a company, it wasn't a factory Jaguar convertible. This whole back half has been customized and looks like a bomb went off on it. But it's got this custom aluminum gas tank. Now, the original gas tank had straps that went from there up to hold the tank in. This doesn't seem to have any, but then the tank doesn't move. There's no bolts in the front. I can't find any here. The only thing I can think of is it either bolts through from underneath or somebody took all the straps out and it's just sitting in there. But there's the computer. You know, everybody says, oh, Jaguar 12-cylinder. Well, Jaguar 12-cylinder runs on a computer that's in the trunk. And they run a vacuum line all the way from the engine to the computer. And they run all the wiring from the engine all the way back here to the computer. And when they convert these to convertibles, they tend to leak. And the computer gets wet. And it took almost 2 years to get it running the first time. And it turned out it was a bad wire and the computer had gone bad. So he got 2 more computers. So I have 1 more spare other than this. But I don't even have power to the relays. I mean, nothing happens. I've looked around the car. It has, at least 3 fuse boxes, and I think 4. And they're all glass fuses. So doesn't that sound like fun? And again, I've had plenty of rodents living in this thing. I'm not sure what diseases you get from that. Gonosypha herpes or something. But, so that's where this project's gone. I haven't done much on it. Because I have heat out here, but I don't have any fuel. So the heat's useless. So I haven't been out here working. If anybody has a motor for a Bridgeport, I let the smoke out of the motor on my Induma, which is just a French Bridgeport clone. It lets smoke out of it in forwards. It does not let smoke out of it in reverse. I pulled the cover off, and it's got some pretty old windings that are arcing out to each other. And they're piles of crap, so now I can't use my milling machine. And let's see, what else? Oh, that thing. I'm just playing. That thing's going to be a rat rod. You know, it's interesting. I was going to make it a boat tail speedster, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to use for the boat tail. And I looked out in the yard, and I remembered I have a fiberglass canoe, and I have some sheet aluminum. So I think I'm going to cut the canoe, use the canoe as the back body, and cover it in aluminum. But, you know, hey, what the heck? What else is going on? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's go outside. Probably what everybody's been waiting to ask me about. My fire truck. Yep. It's still on the trailer. Yep. It's got snow on it. But I've got enough experience with leaving stuff for long times that if you put a cover on this, you're just going to ask it to rot because the water will get under it and it'll just sit there. I have my truck, which I need to move said trailer, and it has many, many broken leaf springs on the right-hand side in the back, and I have to put a starter in it because that decided it didn't want it to work anymore. So, let's see. So yeah, that's it. I haven't been doing much, but if you need any Jaguar parts or you happen to have a motor for my milling machine, or you want anything else that's laying around in the yard, leave me a direct message and let's see, Doc Detroit 1970, no, Dr. Detroit 1970 at outlook.com. is the email address I use. That's Dr. Detroit 1970 at outlook.com. And yes, that's how old I am. Woohoo! But hey, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll continue later, and I'll just give you a lovely scenery of what the backyard looks like today. Have a great day.